In part 1, we addressed the 40% revenues from states taken as contributions from Sarawak, Sabah, Johor and other states. States claim that funds went to the federal coffer and very small amounts were channeled back to the states. This practice is a point which Tunku Ismail of Johor openly disagreed with. The percentage channeled back to the state was also a sore point for many years by Sabah and Sarawak leaders. Then there's also the bottlenecks at VDR desks in federal. These impacted the businesses, the families and their dependents in Sarawak and Sabah. In part 2, funds approved and given by federal for states' accounts, but states did not spend them timely within the timelines because of layers and layers of paperwork at multiple departments, leading to approved funds stuck, unused for the intended purpose. To say the least, there is also a lack of sensitivity to the people's need. There are those working in the government, whether federal and state, lack the sensitivity of the conditions of those on the ground whose lives wither without support. Not many can empathize with the suffering and poverty that NGOs are often familiar with. Yayasan Pillar sees their pain each time we engage with the city poor families and isolated communities. Obviously, there's a limit to what we can do. In part 3, we uncover the hope and the key to the conundrums of the three parts affecting Sabah and Sarawak, their people's livelihoods and the state's economies. Tuai Rumah Peter, Pak Cik Ali and Kak Norma in part 2 were not real people. I use them to represent a pattern. This pattern represents real people in Sarawak. In Sabah, the pattern is similar. The teachers, the small businesses owners, the students and their dilapidated schools with broken toilets. In Sabah, from Joe Katingan to Jeffrey Katingan for more than 40 years. The chain was stuck and now still stuck. Joe Katingan addressed MA 63 more than 40 years ago, and in September 2024, Jeffrey Katingan was quoted by Borneo Post as saying, MA 63 implementation has been excruciatingly slow. He said it is not about pointing fingers at any particular administration. It's about addressing a long, festering issue that needs a united front. Digital rollout is a great way forward. VDR is now e-VDR. The Malaysian Immigration in Federal e-VDR desk promised foreign workers visa processing for Sarawak and Sabah to be many-fold faster than VDR previously. How does the government ensure faster processing for doctors, engineers, and teachers badly needed to serve in many rural areas in Sabah and Sarawak when internet facilities are still unreliable or non-existent in some deep parts? How does a resident specialist many miles away attend to a major emergency like a stroke in inner rural clinics when there is no internet service? But what good is clinical case management system to the inner rural community if its service cannot serve them? In Sabah, 2023, 200 million federal approved for clinics. In 2024, only 40 million was spent. State spending rate was not meeting the demands of patients' needs. Funds were stuck and not spent on intended projects. In 2020, 12 teachers' positions were processed, but less than half arrived to serve in Sabah. One reason: VDR approval bottleneck. Sabah dilapidated school need new water tanks, new toilets, and repairs. They were approved by federal. Bottleneck was VDR processing and huge amounts of paperwork between multiple departments delayed the approval process. Similarly, large road projects and funds were approved. Tender process was stuck after approval. This meant another delay. So, where is the hope and where is the key? The hope is here and the key is coming next, part 4 of this series.